Hi, I'm Allie, and 2 years ago, I introduced the Fruits Basket anime to my fiancé.
And I'm John, and as an anime only, I'm so stoked to see which of my theories are right.
And which are questionable.
So join us today as we talk about Season 3, Episode 2, That's an Unwavering Truth. Alright, so where are we starting?
Well, long time no see. If I was seeing you right now, we're on the phone. But
no, yeah.
I guess to everyone watching, long time no see.
Been a minute, because, we watched the first episode, a while back when the dub came out. So, I'm really excited to actually get to talk about it again, and we'll get to talk about it consistently.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts. And it's the final, so it's kind of wrapping up here.
It's wrapping up, but, they are giving us some juicy material.
Oh, you think this episode was juicy?
It was alright. I don't know. I wasn't too keen on it, but
what happened? Okay.
Nothing really.
So, you ready to get into it? Let's do it.
Let's get into it. Let's go.
Okay. Well, we're gonna open up on a very common theme throughout this podcast, symbolism time with Allie. So,
ooh,
buckle up, guys. You're getting a lot of it this time. There's a lot. So, we're opening up with little Akito and little Shigure. And Shigure's telling Akito all about his feelings, giving her a little camellia. And I know that we have talked about camellias so often, but we're in the final now, new season. There are people who are listening right now that have never heard me talk about camellias before. So
we gotta.
TLDR, just going over it real quick. Red camellias, they symbolize the divine, love, admiration, and respect when they're fresh. So they also, when they're wilting, kind of symbolize perishing with grace for warriors. And that's because when the flowers start to wilt, they behead themselves. So the whole entire flower comes off rather than petals wilting one by one. So you probably wouldn't give a camellia to a sick person, because kind of symbolizes perishing with grace. And that's not nice for them. It's just not a nice thing. But it's used in religious ceremonies and things with the divine and things that aren't about people in hospitals. So you shouldn't do that one. But that's basically the TLDR on camellias.
I mean, still, Akito's kind of a sickly little lady, so...
Yeah, I mean, Shigure has never been known for being nice, so...
Or the most considerate in the world.
No...
I mean, I know he really showed some good sides of himself today.
I mean, when it's fresh, it's love, admiration, respect, and divinity, so that's nice.
I mean, true.
Shigure's not nice, though. Anyways.
No, not at all. But he gives her the flower, and it's all nice, it's all sweet, and then just moments later, her sleeping with our boy, Kureno. And it's just like, oof. Sorry, Shigure.
Beautiful. I love it.
Beautiful.
Give me more. And after that, we get the opening. And because we watched the first episode early, we didn't see the opening until we watched the first episode when it actually aired. But we didn't want to make a whole video about the opening and ending because, it has good moments, but it's mostly
it's pretty straightforward. We couldn't, break it down like we normally would have. That said, we still need to address some things. Specifically, why is Momiji big?
'Cause he's growing. He's aging.
Well, yeah, but, okay. Is there, gonna be a time skip or something? 'Cause, I know, kids, shoot up, flowers, when they're around that age. I did that, so maybe over the summer or something, because they're approaching summer pretty quickly. So it's realistic that he would grow into a young man very quickly, because in this episode he's still little Momiji, and so I'm just shook. I am shooky like a cookie, Allie.
May I just say that in the manga at this point he was the same height as Tohru? I don't understand why they're not making him taller.
Yeah, if they're planning on... That is weird. If they're planning on making him big at some point, why wouldn't they progressively do so?
Yeah. Because he's there in the manga. I don't know. Anyways, puberty's gonna hit him like a truck, I guess.
I mean, and that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like that happened to me in 8th grade. I was the shortest, and then I was pretty tall by 9th grade. So, like, go Momiji. Puberty doing you justice. The other thing that I really want to talk about with this is a certain young cat's beads breaking.
Oh?
Oh.
You don't think that was for flair?
I would be shocked, because, like, when is anything in this show ever for flair?
You think it means something?
I think Kyo might reach the point where, which is super exciting since it's the final, like, we're getting to the end, so, like, I would hope that this would happen, but where he becomes comfortable enough with himself that he is able to rip the beads off. I wonder if, like, it's possible, maybe even before his curse breaks, to, like, get the cat under control. Like, if he can, like, resolve some of his own inner turmoil into turmoil that's, like, very inherently linked with the cat, I wonder if it's possible for him to be able to remove the bracelet without instantly, like, transforming into the demon cat. I don't know, almost like being able to form that intense bond with someone other than God would be able to free him from his curse, or, like, at least tone it down so he's still just a cat or something. And that's why God always locks him up, so that he doesn't have that opportunity moving forward. Because why else would God want the cat all to himself after high school? Like, I feel like there's a timer that God is scared of that is linked with the curse. I don't know, but I think he will be able to, like, because it's him taking his own. Those are the same person's hands, and one of those hands is wearing the bracelet, so it's Kyo taking his own off. It's just why. Yeah, and then just the opening really showing off all of the different relationships, but the one that I really want to kind of get into, the character that they show off, we'll get into that later.
Oh, everyone knows who you're talking about. Okay.
Kureno.
Obviously. But okay, so after the opening, are you ready for more symbolism? So we see Tohru, and she's making paper flowers. And so this is why when we watched the trailer and they had the flowers, I was like, I'm not gonna tell you what these mean. And yeah, it's because they're paper flowers. So, like, it's
I was like, why? That's weird that you went just like, but I guess it makes sense. Don't want to spoil anything. They're not real flowers.
Yeah, they're not real, so they're kind of hard to identify. I think they look the closest to peonies. And when I was Googling and looking up, like, what do people normally refer these tissue paper flowers to, they usually call them peonies. And just, like, the shape of the petals. Yeah, anyways. So I think they're peonies, and peonies are known as the king of flowers. They're used as a symbol for good fortune, bravery, and honor. They also depict that getting great rewards is only possible by taking great risks, which, I mean, Shigure. Okay, and he took some risks. Okay, so
bold.
So there are two colors that we see her making, and also everyone else. They're all making red and white flowers. There is a reason for this. Red and white are both used as decorations for important events that represent happiness and joy, like a graduation. So, red symbolizes strength, passion, self-sacrifice, and blood, whereas white denotes death and mourning, but it's more of a peaceful color that stands for purity and truth. They both have that underlying meaning of something is coming to an end, like what graduation is, people are leaving. But they both kind of have it in like a strength, passion, purity, and truth kind of way, where it's still good, even though it's kind of sad. So yeah, that's what those flowers mean.
And I think that really kind of hits on the two, because we see Shigure giving it to Akito, obviously, and then Kyo giving it to Tohru. And I think that those colors make a lot of sense for the dynamics of both of those relationships. Akito and Shigure is being very passionate.
Yep.
For good or for bad. And very focused on, like, power and strength and that kind of back and forth between the two of them. Whereas Tohru and Kyo's is much more about that, how they feel towards one another, trying to find that truth. And they're very just pure individuals that are struggling a lot through mourning and death, unbeknownst to them. Well, unbeknownst to Tohru. Probably over the same person, if my theory's correct.
But yeah, so Tohru and Shigure are talking while she's making flowers. Shigure is opening one of them up to later give to Akito. And Toru's kind of beating around the bush that she wants to talk about something with him. And it sounds like she wants to talk about how Akito is a woman. And if you turn on subtitles or if you watch the subbed version, it's clearly it starts with a capital A. So she's trying to say like, Akito.
Going for Akito.
She just can't do it.
But Shigure is like, I mean, the curse thing's pretty crazy. But like, it's not like, I get it. That's tough to talk about, especially with someone who's still actively cursed. Rough on her, but like, I get it. Little does he know that like, the shame of the Soma family is known by Tohru.
She's in on all the secrets.
Yeah, like, not that Akito being a woman is bad, but like, probably to the Soma family, like, as a whole, they seem very traditional. I think there's a reason Ren is adamant about raising Akito as a man, and the fact that a commoner knows this information, probably not a good thing. Probably good she held her tongue here. But after that, she freaks out. He's introspective, and then we go back to school. Like I said, Momiji, still small.
I love Momiji. Anyways.
What a delight. What a delight. And they have that small little interaction with Haru where they both kind of walk away and Toru's by herself. I really love this scene of her just kind of walking alone through the hallways. I know we talked about this in the last episode, and we'll probably continue to talk about this in many episodes to come, just because it's becoming such a profound part of Toru's character in the show. Holding on to all of these secrets and not being able to tell them to her usual confidants. Like, she usually would be able to tell Momiji anything and trust him with anything, but now she can't. She can't tell Haru. She can't tell Shigure. Like, she has, like, obviously, because it's curse related, she can't tell Uotani or Hanajima. She's completely on an island with the weight of the world on her shoulder, with all this information she should not know, and there's nothing she feels like she can do about it, and all she wants to do is talk to Kyo about it. But, like, is that insensitive? Does she want to put that on him now? Like, she's probably thinking, is it fair of her to put this burden on him when it should never have been placed on her? And so, if you can't have people continue to, like, help you stay up, like, eventually you're gonna buckle, you know, with all that weight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she was even afraid to talk to Shigure about things that he could have expected from her to a certain degree. And she didn't want to do it because she thought that she would be interrogating him or prying on his personal life. And she knows how delicate of a topic the curse is, especially for Kyo, which he doesn't even know that she knows that it's a delicate topic for him. But, nevertheless.
Yeah, he doesn't even know that she knows he's gonna be trapped.
Yeah.
Like, she has so many of the biggest secrets of the people she is closest to. And she has literally no outlet to, like, vent or talk about this stuff at all. That would be awful for anyone.
Yeah. You mean it's not just a fun anime where they turn into animals? Sorry.
I mean, it is that. And then we see thieves.
Oh my gosh. I love this so much. I love that they think that they're being so sneaky, the little Yuki fan club members. They're wearing their bandanas backwards so that it's tied under their noses. It's just so perfect. They're like, no one can see us with our disguises. Yes, they can.
I used to hate the Yuki fan club. I love how they're just a meme now in everything they do. Yes. And they, like, try, like, the show plays them up as these, like, ninjas. Like, they're doing all this stealthy stuff, but, like, they're the most incompetent. human beings to be doing what they're doing. Well, I guess they're not that incompetent. They actively stole the things they wanted to steal.
Yeah, they just have to make new ones when they get brought to justice.
And fix their masks. The mask thing was a little bit of an oversight.
Oh, jeez. But also, it wasn't just Yuki's flowers who got stolen. No. Kyo also has a fan club. And it looks like one of the girls, specifically the one on the right, she's the same one that confessed to Kyo on the school trip.
Oh, she does not take a hint.
No, girl can't get over a crush.
Like, he is taken, and that should be readily apparent to everyone in that school that him and Tohru are married.
He's a married man.
He is a married man.
Oh my gosh. He's committed.
He is committed.
Oh okay, speaking of commitment.
Yes. Oh.
It's your time. Just go. Just tell me all about it.
Oh my god, okay. So, like, I really had a spiritual experience with this episode.
Over this one scene?
Yes!
Okay,
oh
yes,
my
yes.
god. Okay, when she, like, popped up in the window when she saw him walking by, because he's just, like, walking around, he's on his patrol, he's, like, trying to, like, help people out, and they're like, nah, and he's like, oh, okay, I'll just, like, be going then, and he's feeling a little bit left out, which I'm like, sorry, Yuki, you're my boy, I would have let you help me carry boxes, but she's like, I couldn't predict your route and kept losing you. And she's like blushing with a flower just like smashed in her hand. And it's just like, oh, this is the most like high school thing ever. It's so precious. I don't even think it's like high school to college-esque. It's just like young love. And she like really was trying to get his, like figure out where he was. And when she finally caught up, she was out of breath. And it was just, it made my heart, Allie.
Tangent time. Uh-oh. Alarm bells. I used to do the same thing with you in college. I think we both did it with each other.
No, we totally
did.
We'd
run around campus and be like, wait, I know that they have a class here, and if I go here, then maybe I can say hi to them before they go to class, and...
No, 100%. Or I'd see you, like, coming down one, like, sidewalk on campus, and I would completely reroute my life just to be like, whoa, what a coincidence! Like, we're both walking here. So, it made me so happy. And then, oh my gosh, they walk like a little bit, and he head pats.
Yes, the rare blush head pat combo.
Oh, the rare blush head pat combo. Because he's like, she sought me out, and I'm like, yes, she did, and you guys' hair colors are so hecking compatible. I've never seen more compatible hair.
I love when you get stuck on that. Oh my god.
It is. Okay. Like, in the comments down below, I need, like, affirmation. Like, isn't their hair, like, so compatible? Like, tell us.
Please, tell us more.
Please. I want to see a lot of comments about their hair.
Oh my gosh. Okay, one thing I want to note here is Yuki. So
yes.
when he's talking to Machi about her flower, and he's like, is that a flower? It's so crumpled. It's worse than mine. And which is so cute. But I think it's hilarious that he's commenting and saying, my flower sucked. Meanwhile, the Yuki fan club went out of their way to go steal all of his flowers because they're so precious to them.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I love every single time that Yuki brings up that he doesn't see himself as this prince, that the Prince Yuki fan club sees him. And he's just like, no, I don't know, I'm kind of lonely, like, I need people to hang out with who are nice to me. Or like, I don't know, I'm not that good at making flowers.
No, yeah, like...
And it's so funny, the difference.
His perception of himself has come a really long way from where it was when we met him, but it is so not, just not that. It's just not like a prince. He's just like, I'm okay. Whatever. Like, he is best boy. I love Yuki. I love Machi. Oh, I love this show.
He's so cute. Okay, so after that scene, we
Yes.
get it's my time now.
No, yeah,
We get
go
a Kyoru
off.
sunset scene. One of many. So something that I have noticed is that there is many a sunset scene with Kyoru.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of curious.
Curious.
And also, a lot of their scenes could also be on the rooftop at night, but we mostly get sunsets. And I think that symbolizes, more symbolism, how the sunset kind of symbolizes the completion of a day's work and the passage of time. So I think all of these sunset scenes, specifically for Kyoru, are being used to show how their time together is slowly coming to an end because Kyo's gonna be locked up in, how much? 1 year from now? Yeah.
Don't do this.
So, that's kind of sad. Just how, in all of their moments together, they're constantly being reminded that the day is about to come to an end, they need to part, they need to go to bed, and also, they also get interrupted all the time. So, not only is it coming to an end, but they also get interrupted. And they never get to, like, fully share their feelings for one another, or, like, if Tohru is crying, then Shigure will come in, or, like, just anything. They always get interrupted. So.
It's like, it's reaching the point of interruption where I'm not just like, oh man, anymore. I'm like, stop, leave, exit the room. Like, Utani, Hanajima, I love you guys, you're great, but, like, I don't want you here. Like, let them have a moment.
For the rest of the scene, and not just the symbolism,
Yes.
I believe you had a certain comment about a certain look that Tohru gives.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So, when she's trying to work up to she's talking to Kyo about the curse and, like, what would happen if someone's broke. And he said, I don't like what ifs about that kind of stuff. And she just kind of freezes. And it's very profound, the look she gives, because her pupils dilate, like, super big. That, just in general, we've talked about this a number of times. Typically, when we're talking about it, it's with Yuki in season 2. But that's a trauma response. You know, having those very wide, dilated pupils. And I think that this vicarious trauma, all of these things weighing on her, moments like these, like, she essentially froze. She's doing that more and more times as the series goes on. So the stress responses typically are like fight, flight, and freeze, right? Seems like Tohru goes to the freeze. Look at last episode. After Kureno unloaded on her and then just walked away, she was frozen in the park alone. Like, she just, like, didn't know how to handle it all. She couldn't cope with it. But Kyo kind of got her out of it with the flower. Like, you even saw through her eyes. Like, she has straight up tunnel vision where, like, all you can see is the blurry background and, like, the edges of her hair, you know? And, like, that's all she can see. And I like the camera shot because it feels like, I know it's the hair, like, creating that kind of frame, but it feels like tunnel vision in that moment. Until the only thing that comes through is Kyo's hand with the flower, and that kind of, like, shakes her out of it. This episode in particular is doing a really good job of representing kind of where Tohru's at mentally, because she's having a tough time. Girl needs to see a counselor.
Yeah.
ASAP Rocky. Like, they have to keep confidentiality. Legally, they have to keep confidentiality. So she can tell them all about the curse, and they can't do anything.
And then they might diagnose her with something weird. And be like,
well,
so they turn
very,
into animals. Uh-huh.
Very true. Very true. That is, okay. Maybe leave the animal part out.
Okay, so after that, just A1, just beautiful Kyoru scene, we get...
Yes.
our favorite toxic relationship. So, Shigure...
What's the issue?
Shigure visits Akito and brings the red tissue paper flower. And it's kind of showing how they're different from Kyo and Tohru's relationship. Because he's giving the red flower, kind of emulating the red camellia. Whereas Kyo and Tohru had the white flower. And I think... Did you have a comment on this?
Essentially, kind of what you're saying, how they seem, at least from my perspective, like they're setting up these two couples to be very much foils of one another. How Tohru and Kyo are just kind of timid with what they say to each other in terms of admitting their feelings, but they constantly kind of lift each other up in their relationship and try to build each other up and care in that sort of way. Whereas Shigure and Akito's, they're much more forthcoming with their feelings and how they express verbally their affection for one another, but they also seem to tend to relish tearing each other down in the process, kind of getting back at each other, you know? And I think it's interesting how these two couples seem to lie in such stark contrast, and they tend to, at least so far, pin them back to back in scenes.
Yeah, and Shigure, you know, his relationship with Akito, just kind of manipulative.
You think?
Just a little bit. For example, one of many. So Shigure goes to a meeting with his editor, and
yes,
it's just the whole entire thing. He's almost excited that it's taking place at the same area that they're going to have the Soma soiree, because Akito's gonna get a catch of him with another woman, and he makes sure that she knows that. Ugh. But we also, I have to just throw this in real quick, Ritsu's existence is acknowledged again when Shigure is talking to his editor.
Boom.
Michan.
Boom.
And John and I talked before we started recording the podcast that we're just gonna have a counter every single time Ritsu's name gets mentioned or acknowledged in any way whatsoever, even the slightest bit. So we're 2 for 2 right now.
We are 2 for 2 this season.
Yeah.
Like, we're going strong. Both episodes, Ritsu's been acknowledged.
This is big.
This is big moves. Ritsu is big time. It's all about Ritsu. I feel so bad. I feel so bad for Ritsu. I want to know more about Ritsu, if that's any solace.
Yeah.
I don't have expectations.
Anyways, okay. So Shigure is being a jerk and looking so smug while walking away with Michan. And then we get Shigure's full phone call with Kureno. Spoiler alert, he's angry. If you didn't know.
Woof. Woof. Literally, he's a dog. Woof. Like, this is a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think we could have inferred that he's not the biggest fan of Kureno. Because, you know, they both kind of have this more physical relationship with Akito. Mm-hmm. But he's very forthcoming. He straight up tells Kureno that he hates him.
Oh, yeah, and he's like, you should even, I forget the exact wording, I didn't write it down, I should have, but he was like, you should be happy that I'm telling you this bluntly, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Like, you should be happy I'm telling you like this, that I hate you. It's like, jeez.
Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, Shigure, bring back the claws. Like, and then Kureno reveals to him in this call that he had the curse broken. Shigure is like, figured. I mean, like, I wasn't 100% sure, but I kind of figured something else was up. And, you know, it makes me feel a little bit better that the only reason Akito likes you so much and is so attached is because she's scared of losing you. Couldn't be any other reason. And, you know, this'll make it all that much easier for you to play the poor, pitiful martyr, your favorite role. It's just, dude, like, golly.
Such a jerk. And then, to make matters worse, after making sure that he pretended not to know which day Akito was referring to when he handed her the flower, and she was like, do you remember that day? And he's like, which one? Like, being a jerk, being manipulative, playing with her feelings. And
yes.
After that, and after walking away with his editor to make Akito jealous, after manipulating all of her emotions, he shows up after the soiree to apologize. Curious. That's all he wanted to do, I'm so sure.
Yes. There could be no other ulterior motive.
Oh, jeez. And so he's just playing with all of her insecurities, the bonds, and how those affect her, and also him essentially cheating on her in that kind of way, where, yeah, sure, she slept with Kureno first, we'll get there, but, like, him going off with other women and how that upsets her. And then when Akito walks in, he even starts mocking her masculinity to a certain extent, which,
yes,
I mean,
yes,
that's not great either.
Like, literally what he is doing is manipulation 101, hitting on, like you said, all of those insecurities, her masculinity, her relationships with others and the dynamics of those relationships, like their relationship, the security in what he said by ignoring that. And then we find out why he does not live at the estate.
Oh, tell me why.
I'm sorry, like, this is so messed up.
It's not what you were expecting from this show, I imagine.
No. He goes, oh, you're sleeping with Kureno? Well, I slept with your mom. I'm like, that's like a middle school insult that like a middle school boy would say on like Call of Duty. But he like took it that extra step and actually like did it. And I'm like, Shigure, no.
Yeah, but
you
like,
can't do
like
that.
The difference with that, which makes it even worse, is that when you're on Call of Duty with someone who's being a jerk or whatever, like any video game, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna sleep with your mom, then it's like,
yeah.
What? No, don't say that about my mother. I love my mother, don't insult her. But the difference here is that Akito doesn't have a good relationship with her mother, as you could tell from when she launched her in the air and had a full-on soap opera-esque battle with her mother.
I thought that was play fighting.
Oh no, they were just playing around.
Oh, sorry. Oh wow, I really missed that. I really missed that book.
Sorry, spoilers. Oh gosh, they don't like each other. So it's just that next step further where it's like, oh, you don't like your relationship with your mother? Let me go sleep with her. Which makes it even worse.
Yeah, what a twist.
Yeah, I was honestly, when we watched it, I was expecting you to scream in my ear or something and be like, what? But you didn't. You were very quiet, which I did not expect. And then you go, what is going on?
I started like laughing because it's just like, it's so ridiculous, but not in like an implausible way. Like, it makes sense, and what a way to get back at Akito. It's like, that is the lowest of the low thing he could have done, and he knows that. But, oh my gosh, I just thought it was like, it's awful to the point that it's like comically mean.
Yeah.
It's absurd how far he's willing to play this game just to get back at Akito.
Yeah.
And obviously, it makes Akito send him away.
Oh, yeah.
But
I mean, he didn't even seem upset about it.
Akito pointed to leave one way, he gives like a little wave, and then walks the completely opposite direction. And I'm like, dog. Literally, dog. Like,
Stop.
You can't do that. Oh my goodness. It made me so happy, but like, he's not a good dude.
No. Okay, one thing I do have to note. Last symbolism time with Allie for this episode. Boy, there's more to come.
Wow, we've gotten a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
I love this.
I'm just using all of the Google search terms. Anyways, okay.
Oh, stop.
So Ren, when they're talking about her, she's pictured, very interestingly, and behind her, which I don't even think I can show this screenshot because I think YouTube might flag us. So I'm just gonna show the flowers, which are the red spider lilies.
Let's not go down that road.
Go down that one. So she has red spider lilies pictured behind her, and everyone knows this as the anime flower that symbolizes when crap is about to go down. It is a real flower, but it's always used in things like Demon Slayer, or even like earlier in season 2. We saw it then, and we talked about it then. So red spider lily, very common in anime, means crap is about to go down. It's gonna get bad. So it's the flower of the afterlife. It's ominous. It grows in hell, and it guides the souls of the dead to reincarnation. And something I learned today, thank you, John, for Googling this, they're poisonous.
Ooh.
And I thought maybe it's like, lilies are poisonous to cats, and I've known that. So like, you have a cat and you have lilies, maybe get rid of your lily. Don't get rid of your cat. Keep the cat. Anyways, get rid of the lilies. They're not good for cats. So I thought it was that level of poisonous, like, oh, it's not good for animals. No, if you eat them, there's a chance you could die. Like, they're poisonous.
Yeah, that's a big yikes.
Yeah, not great. So,
no.
That's why she's pictured in front of those. After that full-on soap opera, we also get, another comment from Akito, which, this is wrapping up towards the end of their conversation. Akito mentions that she can do whatever she wants with the Zodiac members because it's her right. That's healthy.
Very healthy. And then Shigure finally expresses like his true feelings about Akito. You know, I love Akito. I love her so much that sometimes I want to spoil her rotten, and sometimes I want to crush her to a pulp. Which, again, very, very healthy dynamic.
I love that for them. Yeah.
They are very passionate. They're very passionate.
As we can see.
For good or for bad. And then, okay, so remember Shirtgate?
Oh, Shirtgate, let's go. Come on.
I have regrets.
You have regrets?
I have regrets.
Have you changed who you think it is?
Profoundly.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I have some atoning to do. Atoning being a very pure process, and do you know what color robe Shigure was wearing after he got freaky with Akito?
Oh, he was wearing white.
He was wearing a white robe, and I noticed that my whole analysis about like the stitching on the back of Kureno's shirt completely fell flat in the next episode. So
it could still not be Kureno.
But, okay, so I, dismissed him outright. I was like, he's not a player.
Yeah.
Like, who would kill Kureno? Who would have any motivation? His curse is broken. Like, Akito wouldn't kill Kureno. Rin wouldn't kill Kureno. Those are the only two I've seen wearing white robes that, I could immediately remember.
I see where this is going.
Well, we see Shigure wearing a white robe, and I think that he has... I think he has reason. He's the only one, but he has reason to kill Kureno.
Yeah, he did say that Kureno was going to be a martyr, so...
I'm not saying this is definitive, but I could see Shigure trying to do the old stabby to Kureno. I don't think Kureno will die, though. I don't think he will. But I think the reason that he could actually die is that... So in the intro, everyone's face is shown to some extent. Like when they have those close-ups, we don't see Kagura's face, but she doesn't get a close-up. Where their heads kind of move a little bit.
Yeah.
Everyone's face is shown, except for Kureno's, where he looks down. We don't see his face. And so that gives me the impression that he's going to die. Because I feel like in a lot of times, like, it's very meaningful when there's only one character whose face they don't show, or like whose back is turned, and no one else's is. And so I think Kureno could die, or at the very least get grievously injured. Or it's just like a play on his curse being broken. But I think he could die.
Jeez. Okay. I'll take it. Shirtgate has evolved.
Yeah, so I am doing a complete 180 on last week, but that's okay. And maybe I'm more right, maybe I'm more wrong. I don't know. But what I do know is that Tohru's quest to find a Suzu isn't going that well.
No, when she was doing the dishes with Yuki, she suddenly remembered that there's another person that she has to keep a secret from, and that's Isuzu. And I do want to note real quick, she always calls her Isuzu, and I think that's absolutely adorable. That everyone else is like, oh, you mean Reen? Like this nickname that she has? But she's like, no, I'm going to call Isuzu, because that's her name. It's very, very Tohru. Very cute. Anyways, she's looking for Isuzu. It's not going well.
Which I wanted to note that we see her. I think I know why she's not being found very easily. We see her in a big wooden building behind what looks to be wooden bars. Maybe like a cat's cage or something. I don't know.
That is a theory.
There's definitely a theory that could be plausible or could not be. But I think Ren, when they were on their Reen adventure, locked her up.
Okay.
Because I don't think Akito would be very, like, blasé about this, like, you know, chilling. I think Akito would be really stressed out if she knew that Reen was actively looking for a way to break the curse and had partnered with Ren. I think that she would be very stressed in this moment. And so I think Ren is up to shenanigans while they were on their Reen expedition.
Sorry, I have to laugh every time you say that. I'm not laughing at your theory. No.
So you're crazy.
You're nuts.
So
no.
I think there's some shenanigans going on with Ren, and I don't know what her game is.
You may have to wait and see.
Poppycock.
I'll see you next week. No. Okay. So that's where we leave off the episode. And then we get, new outro. And I don't have too much to talk about other than I love the manga illustrations. Thank you, Takia. But I have to give a shout out because I noticed this happen on Twitter and I can't just pretend like I never saw it and then bring this up. No, I have to give credit where credit is due. Jeanette.
Yes.
She totally 100% called that a different item would be shown at every episode's outro. So the first episode, we got the scarf. And then in the second episode, we get the white flower. So it's like we're going to get all these little Kyoru items. And so I'll put her tweet on the screen, but she totally called it. 10 out of 10.
We stan a love language that is gift giving. And we also get short hair Reen in the outro. Just saying. We see a lot of hair in one of the trailers. Just saying. In the cage. Cutting.
You're gonna explode.
Cutting hair means character change and growth. Grr. Okay, sorry. That's all I had to say.
Okay.
So excited. Big things are happening. And you know who said the next episode's title?
Oh, I think I have an idea. Was it your girl Machi?
And do you know what the next episode's title is?
Could it perhaps be I Hope It Snows Soon?
And do you know whose name means snow?
Yuki!
Oh! I'm so excited. And we just saw a very precious moment with them, so I think it's going to be a very satisfying Yuki episode, and that's all my heart's been wanting for a while. And so I'm very excited. But do you have anything else you want to talk about with this episode?
No, we talked for a while, so I'm good.
a fair amount. But that'll do it for this week's episode of our Fruits Basket podcast. So if you like this kind of content, you want to see more of it coming from this channel, then make sure to like the video, subscribe, and why not even ring that notification bell so you never miss another upload. And if you haven't heard yet, we officially have merch. So if you're interested in either our Hana Katoba shirt, which is very Fruits Basket inspired, or a more Persona 5 inspired crow shirt, go check that out on our Teespring page. The link for that is in the description down below. And make sure to share this video wherever you like sharing things. But with all that out of the way, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, a fantastic rest of your week, and why not even a fantastic rest of your month. And we will see you in the next video. Later.
See ya.